If you need one reason on why you should watch this entire wholesale tutorial, it's this. I have the most viewed wholesale tutorial on the internet, on YouTube. So this is the most valuable updated wholesale tutorial you'll ever watch in your life. So that's the reason why you need to watch this. Now, if that wasn't already convincing enough, here's a second reason why you should watch this, because I'll be covering all these topics in detail, step by step. So take your pen, paper, start taking notes, and let's get into this video. Let's first start by understanding what is Amazon FBA. So FBA stands for Fulfillment by Amazon, which basically means that if you start selling on Amazon and you sell via FBA, which is basically you sending your stock over to Amazon's warehouse, then every time you get an order, Amazon is the one who will pick, pack, and ship your product to your customers. This is exactly what I do because I don't want to be sitting here all day shipping products to customers, packing orders, and doing things that really take up a lot of time. However, there is a small catch to doing FBA, which is that if you do use FBA services, then you have to pay Amazon FBA fees. So along with referral fees, you have to pay FBA fees, which isn't super high. However, it does take into your profit margin. And the reason why I'm still fine with FBA fees, because even if I tried doing the picking, packing, and shipping myself, it would have probably cost me the same or a little bit higher than what FBA would or Amazon charges. Now, if you're a person who does not want to pay Amazon the FBA fees and you want to fulfill the products yourself, then there is also something called FBM, which is Fulfilled by Merchant. In this, you can start selling products on Amazon, but every time you get an order, you're the one who's picking, packing, and shipping the products off to your customers, and you're the one who's going to manage all the returns and the customer service too. The advantage of using FBM is also that you will pay less fees. However, the hassle of doing FBM is a lot more compared to FBA, which is why I recommend you do FBA rather than FBM. So now you understand what Amazon FBA is, let's understand the 3 different types of products that you can start selling on Amazon. The first way of selling on Amazon is Arbitrage Amazon. This is where you go to retailers or supermarket and then you walk into the clearance section of the store and look for products that are 50 or 60% discounted, and you can see that they're selling for more on Amazon. So you're gonna buy as many as you can and then resell it on Amazon for a profit. I made many videos around how to find arbitrage videos, as well as me actually going to a store and looking for arbitrage products, and also showing you guys what I look for in a product before I go ahead and buy it. If you want to watch it, you can go in my channel and you'll probably see a lot of videos there, but you can do that just after watching this video. The arbitrage model is definitely the best beginner model to get started on Amazon with, and this is the model I recommend my friends or whoever messages me on Amazon saying, hey Jatz, I want to start Amazon but I don't know where to start. I always recommend the arbitrage model because in here you don't really need a lot of money. You can start with as little as 200, 300 pounds, and you just need to look for products that are on clearance section and you know they're selling for more on Amazon, so you send it off to Amazon and you will make a profit. So there is not a lot you need to learn, and there is not big initial investment requirements. So if you're a person who's just looking to make an extra few £100 every single month, then the arbitrage model is perfectly for you, as so you don't have to worry about managing inventory and all sort of things. But with the arbitrage model, the main problem is that it's hard to scale because you have to constantly keep looking for products that are discounted and resell them on Amazon. So you won't really be able to buy so many units of one product in bulk and keep selling them. So you have to constantly be in look for new products. Plus, if you're in a different country and you don't have a virtual assistant or you don't have employees, you will definitely not be able to sustain this model as much as wholesale or private label, because you won't have enough stock sent to Amazon, and in order to send your new stock you have to prep them and send it off to Amazon. So it's definitely not the best business model if you want to build an actual business that is sustainable on Amazon. However, that being said, if you're just sitting at home right now and want to get started with Amazon, then this is how you can go about finding arbitrage products. Now within arbitrage, there is online arbitrage and retail arbitrage. Online arbitrage is basically you go to the retailer's website, then they have a clearance section. Like if you go to Argos right now, you can go to the clearance section and you will see all the products that are set on clearance, and you will most likely be able to find at least 1 or 2 good products if you just go through all the products and just check them on Amazon to see if they're selling for more. And retail arbitrage is basically when you go to an actual retailer or a supermarket in person and you go to the clearance section and look for products. Now if you're a lazy person like me and you want to do everything from the comfort of your home sitting on your couch, then online arbitrage is definitely the best thing for you. Plus, you can also use tools out there that will help you find arbitrage deals by just having a subscription with them, or they will literally allow you to scan products and find profitable arbitrage products. So you've just seen how arbitrage works, but now if you want something more scalable and sustainable, then this is where Wholesale Amazon comes in. This is where you start building a real business, real relationship, and start scaling. Wholesale Amazon is basically when you buy branded products from the brand directly or a wholesale distributor in bulk, and then you resell them for a profit on Amazon. This business model is perfect for a beginner as well as someone who actually wants to build an Amazon business and scale it to 10K a month, 100K a month, or even $1 million a month. That's how much you can scale this business model. Plus with wholesale, you also don't need a lot of money at the start. You just need £1,000 to get started with wholesale, because with £1,000 you can definitely buy a reasonable amount of inventory for a certain product and start selling it on Amazon. Plus with wholesale, you don't have to create a listing on Amazon. You can use existing listings and the product is already in the market, meaning people already know about the product and you don't have to spend money on advertising or anything. You just buy the branded product and resell it on Amazon for a profit, which also means there is a fast entry for you in the market and start making money quickly. As well, there is less risk for you because you're not manufacturing your own product and you don't have to spend thousands and thousands of pounds in manufacturing your own product and spending money in ads and stuff like that. However, just like every model, there is also drawbacks to the wholesale model. And with the wholesale model, the main thing is profit margins. Now, because many other sellers can also buy the wholesale product from the brand or the distributors, meaning you're gonna have competition. And when there is competition, price is always the thing that everyone competes with, which takes the price down, and overall it can take the profit margins down as well. Another issue with this wholesale model is that you have limited control over the brand itself, meaning you won't be able to create a new product of this brand as well as customize something or do anything in general, because you don't own the brand. So you can't really even sell this wholesale business in the future if you wish to, because you don't really own anything. You just sell these products that you're buying in bulk from wholesalers or the brand directly. And the last and the biggest issue with wholesale is that you're depending on the supplier, meaning if the brand does not have stock for that product or the wholesalers don't have stock for a product, you don't have business. You can't really sell anything. So that's the worst thing. Now, this has never happened to me, and I don't think it would even happen, because the only way that could happen is if the brand runs out of stock or they're going bankrupt. And if the brand does run out of stock, they do restock it probably in like a month or two time, but that doesn't mean you will lose out money on that specific product. But the great thing about wholesale is that you can sell as many products as you want from multiple different brands. So just because one brand has run out of stock doesn't mean that you're not going to make money, as you still have other 9 or 10 or 20 brands that you're working with. Now, wholesale is an amazing model, and this is what I recommend anyone starting off with Amazon start off with. But if you want to build your own brand on Amazon, then that's where private label comes in. Private label is basically when you get an unbranded product from a place like Alibaba, China, and then you put your own branding on it and you sell that product on Amazon. Now, the great thing about private label is that it does have slightly higher margins than wholesale, because you're not competing with anyone on that listing. So you can literally choose to increase your price by £5 or £2, and no one's really going to undercut you or take away your Buybox because you're alone in that listing. Secondly, you have control over the branding. So if you want to change something in that product because the customer does not like it, you can go ahead and do that. And you can literally even include a new product or add a new product to the product line and basically do whatever you want. And the main benefit of owning the brand itself is that you can sell the brand in the future if it's a profitable brand and you have a buyer for the brand. However, talking about all the good things of private label, there are quite a lot of drawbacks with private label. The first thing is that you will need a lot of money to get started with private label, at least £5,000 to £10,000, because you're ordering the stock all the way from China, meaning you have to pay higher shipping fees, because when you order from China, the shipping is insane. Plus, with private label, you can't use your own listing, meaning you have to create a brand new listing which is SEO optimized, keyword optimized, and all sort of things, which means you also have to pay money in ads, because that listing won't be on the first or even second or the third or fourth page of Amazon for that specific keyword. So you'll spend money in ads, you have to create a product, you have to pay for shipping, and overall it will cost you a lot of money. And with this comes also higher risk, because if the product fails, then you have basically lost your money and you can't even really resell it on other platforms, because the product is a brand new product and it's branded under your brand. So it's not like wholesale where the product is known by people, so they're going to buy it. But that being said, you can still try and sell that product on other platforms as well. I launched my first private label product 6 months ago, and the whole process of actually launching my first product took almost 3 and 3.5 months. So you can see how long it can take as well to launch your private label product. Whereas with wholesale, you can literally buy a product from a wholesaler today and ship it off to Amazon tomorrow, and within 3 or 4 days, you will have that product active on your Amazon account and start without getting in sales. That's the main difference between arbitrage, wholesale, and private label. Now, here's what I would recommend you do if you're a complete beginner and you want to start Amazon FBA. I would recommend, if you have less than £1,000, start arbitrage, build your initial capital to at least £1,000, then do wholesale, and then from wholesale, once you have built a business that's doing, let's say, £10,000 a month, then you can look into starting private label or launching your first private label brand. Because if you directly go to private label, I tell you personally, there is so much to learn. And even as a person who was doing wholesale for almost 2.5 years, when I tried private label, there was like almost half of the things that I didn't know I had to learn. So you can see how much more you have to learn if you just do private label straight away. So that's what I personally recommend. Now that you know the 3 ways you can sell on Amazon, let's set up your Amazon seller account. All you have to do is go to Google and type in sell on Amazon, and then simply click, not this, go down and click on, come on, there you go, sell on Amazon UK. And right here, this is where you'll land. If you're in the US, it will say .com. If you're in Canada, it will say .ca. But before you sign up, I just want to show that there are 2 plans that you can choose when selling on Amazon. There is an individual plan and there is a professional plan. Individual plan is free, so you can set up your Amazon account for completely free. However, I don't recommend that. 2 reasons why. First is that you'll be charged 75p plus VAT if you're in the UK every sale you make. And you also have a limit on the number of units you can sell. And it's basically an account if you just want to sell few items here and there every single few months, not months. The next plan is a professional plan, which is £25 plus VAT every month, which comes to £30 a month. I recommend you pay £30 because you're getting access to millions of customers and Amazon's entire service of them fulfilling the orders and all the other benefits, which you can scroll down here and you can have a look. Basically, don't be stingy at this point and just go for the professional account if you actually want to build a successful Amazon FBA business. So all you have to do is click on sign up, and then if you have an Amazon account that you use to shop on Amazon, you can use that, or you can simply create a completely new Amazon account from scratch and use that. However, here's some few extra pointers just to help you out more, is that make sure you create your Amazon seller account under your name, or at least under someone's name who has an actual proof of ID and also a proof of address. Because once you've created the account, you will need to jump on a verification call with an Amazon's employee, where they will actually ask you to hold your ID near your face. So you have to make sure you have proof of ID, and then they will also ask if you have a proof of address, which you will also need to upload the documents as well. Once that's done, within 72 hours, usually takes like 8 hours or sometimes 1 hour, 2 hours, your account will be verified, and then you can start selling on Amazon. If for some reason your account does not get accepted, it gets deactivated or suspended, then you have 2 options. 1, you appeal, or second, you actually pay someone who is an expert in this Amazon area who can go ahead and create a detailed appeal to get your Amazon account back. Now, usually this happens if your details does not match your actual proof of ID that you have shown. Second, you had created an Amazon account in the past which was suspended due to some suspicious reasons, or you never provided the information Amazon asks for, or it could be a random other reason that Amazon thinks that they're not going to let you sell on Amazon. So those are the options that you have. Now, once you have your Amazon account set up, this is how the dashboard will look. Ignore the actions here because this is a demo account and I haven't opened it for a while. I've just opened it just for the video, but this is how the dashboard will look. It will ask you to also verify some things, and it will also ask you to add your charge and payment account details, bank account details, where they will pay you and also they will charge you. So then you can add those details here. Once you have done that, that's it. Your account has now been set up and hopefully verified as well. So it's time to start scouting or researching products. In total on Amazon, there are millions and millions of products. But how do you actually identify the ones that are selling well? Well, in this lesson, I'll show you a 3-step scouting product opportunities checklist that you need to make sure it passes in order for this product to be something you will do further analysis on. The way you do these 3 checks is, number 1, you check the sell price of a product. The product should be more than £10, only if you're in a tighter budget than anything below. But as I said, finding products with higher ROI and good margins below £10 is possible, 100% is possible, but it does take a lot longer compared to products that are above £10. So as you can see, this is £6.54. whereas this product is £12.99. So that's the first check. The second check is to make sure Amazon or the brand is not on the listing. The way you check that is open the Buybox, and what you want to first do is simply filter by Prime and New, and you want to check if Amazon is on the listing. As you can see, anything that says dispatched from Amazon and sold by Amazon is from Amazon. If this sold by was Amazon Warehouse or Amazon EU or Amazon US, that's absolutely fine if you're in the UK. If it's just Amazon, wherever you are, and if it's just Amazon, then that is not good because you will not be able to compete with Amazon. And another thing you want to check is the brand itself. So this is a CeraVe product, so you want to check if CeraVe is on this listing. The way you again can check is by manually just going through these sellers. As I can see, Lady Chemist, no CeraVe, no CeraVe, nope. There is no CeraVe on this listing. Most products will never have the brand on itself, but you just want to check just in case the brand is actually on it. So we just want to check if CeraVe is on this. Nope, there is no CeraVe on this listing, which is good, but this listing does have Amazon on it, so it wouldn't pass the check. Now, bear in mind, what some smart sellers do is that, for example, this seller, right, if he wants to be smart or she wants to be smart, they will rename their store to CeraVe or something like CeraVe Store or CeraVe Shop and something like that. So when a noob seller or a new Amazon seller sees them, like, oh shit, this is the brand on the listing, I should stay away from it. But what you can do is just click on them, and then when you click on them, you'll be able to scroll down and you'll be able to see the seller details. And as you can see, the business name is something, if it's completely different to actually CeraVe, so you can actually copy this name and go on Google and just type it in, and you'll be able to see what the company is and if the company is any relation to CeraVe, and you'll be able to see this company definitely doesn't have it, but this for example as well. So that's how you do these 3 checks. If these 3 checks don't pass, the initial 3 checks don't pass on a product, that product is not a good product to do any further analysis or anything to do with that. It does not count as a good product opportunity. Let's dive into your first product research method for model number 1. In this method, we're going to use the Amazon's bestseller tab to find products that are selling really well on Amazon. So let me jump on my work desk and show you. This is the first method of model 1, which is the bestsellers method. You simply want to go to Amazon and then click on this bestsellers, which will open up this page. Now, the great thing about bestsellers is basically it's telling you, or Amazon literally has a section which has all the best-selling products on Amazon. Just know Amazon has like over 70 million products on their platform. So on the bestseller section, for each of these categories and subcategories and subcategories, you can find the bestsellers. So what usually you can do is go in any of the categories you like. Again, you might be thinking, Jatz, what's the best category? Now, apart from CDs or clothes or apps and games and gift cards and everything, or Kindle store, apart from those categories, any categories is fine. Because on Amazon, when you do Amazon Wholesale, anything and everything sells. So when you're limiting yourself in certain categories, which there is some advantage of, but because you're using the wholesale model, we don't really care about worrying about certain categories. We're just looking for products that sell. And even if they're in a random category and they sell, we're going to sell it and make money. So for this example, let me choose health and personal care. Now, when you click on health and personal care, these are the top 100 bestsellers in health and personal care. So it will be 50 on the first page and 50 on the next page. Now, what most people do is they jump on Amazon, they do come to bestsellers, and they start looking for products right here. Now, the problem is most products here are either going to have Amazon on it, are private label, or have a lot of competition. So for this example, I'm going to choose health and personal care. You're simply going to click on it. Now, once you've clicked here, instead of browsing through here, by the way, it's going to straight away give you 100 best-selling products in this category. So it will be 50 on the first page and 50 on the next page. Now, instead of staying here, what I like to do is just click on health and personal care right here. And then I scroll down all the way to the bottom, and I see right here, 1 to 12, over 50,000 results for health and personal care. And then I just go and see all result. Now, once I'm here, I'm seeing all the top selling products for health and personal care. What I'm going to do, because I don't want to waste my time for looking at products below £5 or below £6, below £7 or below £8. In our case, our check is below £10. We don't want to see any products. You can put minimum as £10. As I mentioned, if your budget's tighter and you want to go for products below £10, you can, but never go below £5 because the margins are going to get really lower. Plus, when you do wholesale, there's going to be other competitors on the listing who might make your margins even lower. So we're going to put minimum £10, and we're simply going to go and click on go. Now, these are all products that are minimum of £10. Now, as you can see, the results have gone down from 50,000 to 40,000. So now all I'm going to do is click on open on each one. So I will just hold the Alt button. If you're on Mac, I think it's going to be Command, or I'm using a keyboard which has Alt on it. But if you're on a Mac, I think it's Command, or you can just duplicate it. But or you can just right click and open in your tab, a new tab, right click, open in new tab. If you're on a PC, it's Control, and you just click on each one and opens a new tab. What you're then going to do is simply go on each one, and you're going to do the 3 checks. Number 1, is it more than £10? Yes, it's more than £10. Number 2, by the way, this item has bought 50,000 times in the last past month. Check number 2 is Amazon on the listing? So we want to check, is Amazon on the listing? Well, we can see there is no FBA seller, or there is no Buybox at all, and there is only Amazon on this. So we know this is a private label listing, plus only Amazon is on the listing. So we definitely, it's an Amazon brand, by the way. So obviously Amazon's going to be on it. So we know that it didn't pass the second check. And the third check is that there are more than 3 different sellers, which is obviously this doesn't have more than 3 different sellers. So just like that, you're going to go through all the products. And when you go to the main category, usually on the first page, or first 2 or 3 page, you'll mainly have products with Amazon on it, or private label, or have a large amount of competition. So what you want to do is go further down into the number of pages. Or another thing you can actually do as well, which is what I tend to do, is I go in the section of bestsellers, which is, again, once I've gone in the category and I go on bestsellers. And what I tend to do is I just go subcategories from here. So instead of looking at the main category, I would rather go in dental care. And from dental care, I would even go more further down into, let's say, this one. And now here I'll be looking at products on this specific page. I'll go through both pages right here, and I'll go through products to find a product that passes my 3 checks. And so this is how you do the bestsellers method and how to find products. Now, this method is something that's helped me at the start of my journey to find products that are actually sold on Amazon. So this is method number 1. This is a method that I've been using for the last whole year, and I've found some amazing products with it. And I've actually never shared this method anywhere. This is the first ever time I'm actually talking about this method. And some of you might find it simple, but trust me, simple is the most effective way to find products on Amazon. Don't overcomplicate things. Simple is what works. This method is called frequently bought together / related products. So under every single product listing, there is a frequently bought together and related product. And it will just show you products that are either related to this or frequently bought together. And this is the section that will give you products that people are buying together, so you know they're selling well as well as related products. Let me jump on my computer and show this practically. If you find a good product, or even if you don't find a good product, what you can do is scroll down and look at frequently bought together. And if you scroll further down, products related to this item. Now, this is a place where Amazon basically shows you what other items do customers buy frequently together with this product, as well as what other products are related to this. So what I usually do, I just click on them and open in a different tab, and I just look at them and I do the 3 checks on them. Usually, again, this is a product which Amazon is on in. So if it's a product which Amazon is on, then the products you will have related or frequently bought together will most likely have Amazon on it as well. This is an example. As you can see, Amazon's on this listing and this listing as well. So ideally, you only want to do this on listings where there is no Amazon on the first listing you're looking at. And then you want to go to frequently bought together, and then you want to look at related products. And the good thing about related product is you can keep going, and you'll find new products. You'll come across new products. So then you can just click on this, and then you can just open it and be like, okay, there's only one seller, so this looks like a private label listing. Let's look at this one, Fairy Premium Plus. Could be Amazon on it. Yes, exactly, because Amazon's on the main listing. So remember, there's no point of looking at the frequently bought together and related product if Amazon is on the listing. You want to first find a product where Amazon is not on the listing, then you want to go deeper into finding related products or most frequently bought together. I'll give an example of an actual product where you'll find other products as well. You want to go down to products related to this item, and as you can see, there are other products which are related to this item, and you can sort of open most of them just to have a look at them. But ideally, you want to look at products which you think are branded and are products that you can most likely jump on the listing. So this one we already looked at. This one, as you can see, there is one seller only via Angel. So nope, that's a private label listing. As you can see, I've just found this one. This is 200 sold in the past month. And this is a random store. There are more than 3 different sellers. Yep, I can see. And they're selling a pack of 1, 2, and 3 different type of this product. And so as you can see, I just found a somewhat which looks like it passes all the 3 checks. The first check, which was to make sure it's more than £10. There you go. The second check is to make sure it's Amazon's not on it or the brand is not on it. And I can see the brand or Amazon's not on it. And the third and last check was pretty simple, which was to make sure it's more than 3 sellers and to confirm that it's not a private label product. So this passes my check. So all I'm going to do is copy the link of this product, go to my product opportunity scouter, paste the link here, and then I'm going to put the ASIN here. I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to copy the ASIN. By the way, I'll give you a life hack. The ASIN is also in the URL right here. So if you could copy from there as well. But to make your life easier, you can start off with here. Once I have found more products like this, I'll just keep adding them right here. Method number 3 is store scouting. This is one of my go-to methods. And the reason why is because this method allows you to find products that are almost guaranteed to sell. Because if other sellers are selling it, then you're pretty sure that this product is selling. That's why they are selling it. So the way this method works is that on Amazon, you can go and view a product, and in the buy box, you can see sellers. If you click on the seller, you can see their storefront. In their storefront, you can see all the products, and then you can go through each of the products and find good product opportunities. Now, let me show you this practically. Let me show you now how store scouting works. We'll use the product that we found in the last lesson. So what you're going to do is firstly, open the buy box on a listing. Make sure the listing doesn't have Amazon on it. It's fine if Amazon's on it, but again, we don't want to look at a listing where Amazon is on because most likely the other sellers selling on it are going to be bigger sellers. And we ideally want to only look at sellers who has a rating below 500 ratings. The less the rating, the better it is because they are smaller sellers. If they're smaller sellers, then they're really worried about not sending products to Amazon that might not sell. They will only have products in their inventory which are actually making them money. So you can actually look at their store and see what products they're selling, try source it yourself for a profitable price and start selling that as well. So on this listing, there are 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 FBA sellers and we only look at FBA sellers. So we don't care about FBM sellers. We're not going to look at the stores of FBM sellers because FBM sellers might be selling products that are hazardous or dangerous goods or massive products. And they can do it because it's FBM, they're fulfilling it. Whereas in Amazon warehouses, it might take a lot more storage fees and it might have certain fees that are going to cost you more. So you want to stay away from FBM sellers. You just want to look at FBA sellers with less than 500 ratings. So in this case, there's one FBA seller with 4,000 ratings. You can look at the store and what they're selling, but they will have so many products that it will not be worth looking at all of them because some of them might not even be selling. So I can see there is 1, 2, and 3 different sellers that I can look at. So I can open this seller, and this seller. Now I open 3 sellers. Now when I go to this first seller, I'm going to click on visit the J90 International Store. Now let's see which one of these actually passed the check. So this is below £10, below £10. This is more than £10, so we can open this and do our checks. Is Amazon on it? If Amazon's on this listing, they will usually be at the top. No, I don't see Amazon on it. So this passes the first check. Then the second is, that was the second check. The third is more than 3 sellers. So this goes onto our spreadsheet, which is right here. We'll put it on the spreadsheet and we'll put the ASIN of that product as well, which is copy, and we'll just paste it. So that's another product found. And then we'll go through another and we'll find another product. This is Mars Candy. Is there more than 3 sellers? Yes, there are more than 3 sellers, more than £10. Amazon is not on the listing. So that's another product opportunity. We'll go ahead and copy and paste it right here. And we'll paste this here as well. So just like this, from one store, you can find these product opportunities. Again, you're just finding these opportunities that pass these 3 checks. Later on, you'll be learning how to analyze these opportunities in detail and properly. So in this store, I can find I found like 4 different products that I can possibly do further analysis on and try and see if I can find a profitable product. That's one store. Now let's go to this one, Nancy's Beauty Store. Now on this store, there are how many products? There are 10 pages. Now, if it's 10 pages, you can still go through all of them, but I can see most of the products they sell are less than £10. So that's something you can look at. And there are some products with more than like £10, so you can look at those specifically. And then there is the last store, which is 1, 2, there you go. There's 1, 2, 3. When it's this many sales, I'm sure Amazon's on this listing. If Amazon's not on this listing, then that would be crazy. But I can see Amazon has been on the listing in the past. So they should be on the listing, or they have been on the listing in the past. And by the way, whatever I'm saying right now about past and everything, you'll learn more all of that later on. But looks like Amazon's not on this listing at the moment. So that's a possible product. Now, the great thing about store scouting is once you have found, let's say, one product, let's say you have found, let's go to the product example we're looking at. So let's look at this product, right? This is a product that passes all the 3 checks. Now, what you can do is actually go to the store of this product, and then you can filter by prime and new, which is looking at FBA sellers. And now you can see there are smaller sellers here. And if it's like 1 or 2 ratings, you can go ahead and find or look at their store on what they're selling. Oh, they are selling quite a bit of products, 3 pages of products and only 1 seller rating. So you can possibly look find products there as well. But I usually go for someone who's selling slightly at least more than 5-10 review ratings, just so I know they're selling for a while and they have some products that might be worth looking into. As you can see, now I can just deep dive into more. I can basically keep going in the rabbit hole of from one product to another product, look at the sellers in that product with less than 500 ratings. From there to another product I might find and look at sellers. So you can find so many product opportunities using store scouting. And it's crazy because you can literally see products that other people are selling. And if they are selling it, then 100% they are making money with it. That's the reason why they're selling it. So now the only job for you is going to be source these products. So this is method number 3. Method number 4 is a method that alongside with the frequently bought together, this method is something I have again never spoken about a lot just because I never used it myself, but I've been using it for the last year and it's actually allowed me to find products that I couldn't find using softwares or even using other methods. All you're going to do is go on Amazon search and you're going to put a product name or a niche name and enter. This way you will get a list of products that will come for that specific keyword, and then you can browse through, and on the first page you'll usually find products that are selling really well. So this way you can find product opportunities that you may not be able to discover on a software because that product may not be tracked in the software. Let me visually explain this method better on my computer. So let me show you method number 4 in action. So for this, all you're simply going to use is the search engine, the Amazon search engine. Now the Amazon search engine actually is really powerful because you can even figure out what type of products are people searching for, what specific keywords. So for example, if you just write dry, so if you just write dry, as you can see, there is dry shampoo, dry rag, dry cat food, dry rope, dry dog food, dry bowls, dry bag. Literally, these are the things which people are mostly searching for, and we're going to use this as our advantage. So what you're going to do is either use a word, a brand, or a niche as the first actual word, and then whatever comes up, you can either click on those ranking or the search which is recommended, or you're going to go ahead and just search in what you want to search in. So what I sometimes do, I just search in stuff like dry bags. I know it doesn't make sense, but I just type in dry bags. And then if it's something that I feel like, okay, I might be able to find something, I'll go ahead and look more into it. But because this is dry bags and this is something a kind of cloth related, I don't usually look at products in that. So then I would just be like, okay, when I put in dry, the word dry, there was dry shampoo. So let's look at dry shampoo. Now, all these shampoos, I can see that this is bought 1K in the past a month, 200 in the past month. Now, I'm not going to just look at all of them. First thing I would do is always put this to minimum £10 and then go. Now, I will have a list of all the shampoos that it's showing me more than, all the shampoos that are showing me are more than £10. So now my goal is to go through each one of them. Again, I'm going to open them like this, and then I'm going to go through them to see if it's private label firstly, or Amazon's on it. Now, if there's less than 2 sellers, I'm not going to carry on looking in here. Again, this is multiple sellers, but are they new sellers? Oh, there are multiple sellers in here. Is Amazon on it? I think Amazon is on it. There you go. So there's going to be another no. And just like this, you have to keep going through products. Now, again, when you search in a good keyword, the top few will have Amazon on it, whereas something like this might not have Amazon on it because this is, again, a bundle. Now, Amazon is on it. I can see. There you go. But there are chances of Amazon not being on a bundle compared to products where it's a non-bundle. So you keep going through all products. As you can see, let's see this one. Okay, so the first thing we will check is the price. Is it more than £10? Yes, it is. Second is Amazon on it? Nope, Amazon is not on this listing. There you go, Amazon's not on this listing. The third one is there more than 3 sellers? Yep, there is more than 3 different sellers. Along with Amazon, is the brand on this? We want to confirm the brand's not on here. If the brand is on this, then we want to avoid it too. So I can see there is no brand on it as well. So I can put this for potential opportunity that we can scout. So I'm just going to copy this and then put it in this sheet. And then we'll paste the ASIN right here as well. So that's another product. So just like this, you're going to keep going through this specific keyword which you have found. Now, just like that, you can even go on Google and type in, give me random keywords, or give me random niches, or give me a list of all the niches. And then you can do, next one you can do is, let's say, birthday, and then you can just write birthday banner. There you go, birthday decoration, and then you can look into that. So there is unlimited stuff you can search in the actual search engine. And this is a way where I've been able to find products which I haven't been able to find using store scouting, or even using softwares or anything like that. So that's why it's a really good method. But this is basically the entire method. Finding products is one part, but knowing if that product will sell or not is based on how good you are at analyzing your products. So now let's look into product analysis, and how do you analyze products to make sure that they sell 99% of the times. My 5-step checklist for product analysis. This way you don't have to worry about buying a product that won't sell. I'm going to talk about this checklist so that you can filter out low profit potential products right away. And if you stick to this checklist, I'm sure 99% of the products you will find will make you money. So the first thing is to look at the product's bestseller rank. You want to make sure that the bestseller rank is below 100,000. Let's give you an example of what product the sales rank is. So if you scroll down on a listing on Amazon, every product has something called product information, and there you'll find the bestseller rank. You want to make sure this number is below 100,000, because if it's below 100,000, it's selling more. If it's above 100,000, it's selling less. The lower the bestseller rank, like for example, this is 7,000. This shows that this product sells quite well. So the lower the sales rank, the more it sells. The higher the sales rank, the less it sells. So let's go back to the presentation. Cool. I hope you guys saw that. You guys did see that. Cool. That's the first thing you need to check. Next one is you should consider a product to have at least 30% ROI. Now, for those of you who don't know what ROI is, let me explain. ROI basically means return on investment. Let's say you bought a product for $4 and then you sold it for $8 and you paid $2 in Amazon fees. So that means your net profit is $2. That's 50% ROI, basically. So you spend £4, you got £2 more on that £4, so you got £6 technically, and you make 50% return on investment. Now, this is just an example. If you don't know how to calculate ROI, you can Google ROI calculators and you'll find a bunch of free calculators. It's not that complicated. Anyway, so you should calculate if a product has at least 30% ROI. Now, you might be thinking, Jatz, it's impossible to find a product with 30% ROI. But it's not. I've sold tons of products with ROI is much more higher. Right now, I sell products with like 300, 400% ROI. And this is an actual product I've sold in the past. And you can see it's being sold for £2.24 per unit here. But I got it for even cheaper than that because I was able to negotiate the price with the supplier. So I got the pack of 24 for £39.06, which means I got each unit for £1.63. And I was selling in a pack of 2 for £9.95. And here's an invoice so you know it's legit. I bought it for £1,093.68. And I got around 302 orders for it. And after fees and everything, I made £2.50 profit per unit, which is absolutely insane. I literally doubled my money from just this single product. And these pint glasses are an example that people will literally buy anything on Amazon. And you might have a thought, because most people might have thought, like, who would even buy these pint glasses? But this is proof that you can literally sell about anything and make profit. And one more thing people often say is, oh, the Amazon fees are too much and all. But ignore them, because whoever says such thing has never actually ran a business in their entire life. You can start any business in the world out there and you will have expenses. It's called cost of doing business. And if you're an Amazon seller who's crying about your Amazon fees, then it's your fault. Go and find products with high ROI, because I'm selling on Amazon, but it's never been a problem for me. So stick to the minimum 30% ROI rule and you will be profitable. Then the third thing you should check is the product should have some recent reviews. Let me show what I mean by that. So what you want to do is every product on Amazon has this rating. You want to click on that and it's going to take you right here. Then you want to change this to most recent. You want to make sure there are recent reviews. So you can see there is one in January 2024, which means it's recent. Now, the reason why you want to check there is recent reviews is so that you know that if 100 people are buying this product, at least one will leave a review. So it basically tells you that this product is actually selling. And bear in mind, all these checks I'm telling you, you can make without buying any product research tools or any tools out there. So that's the great thing about that. So that was the There you go. That was the third check. The fourth check. Now, this one is probably the most important factor to consider, which is to avoid competing with Amazon. Always check if Amazon is selling that product and is on that listing, because 99.99% of the times Amazon will get that product much more cheaper than you. That's because they can buy it in such large quantities than we can. Plus, they don't have to pay stuff like Amazon fees or other stuff. So bottom line is, they can sell the product at far cheaper price than we all can. And here's an example. Amazon is selling this product for £4.86, while the next FBM seller is selling for £7.14. So almost like £2 higher the next seller is. So at this point, it's not even competition. And the other guys are not even going to get any sales. So it's best to avoid competing with Amazon in first place. And the fifth step is that it should not be a private label product. Because if it's a private label product, then you will get in trouble. Remember how I showed you I got an intellectual property notice when I started selling? So make sure it's not a private label product. Now, Jatz, how do you check if a product is private label? Let me show you. So if you just write fitness band, you want to make sure. So, oh wait, what's this? Fitness band. All right, let's go to this fitness band. The way you can easily find or make sure the product is private label or not is you want to make sure there are not more than 3 different sellers. Or if there is more than 3 different sellers, it's not a private label product. But if there are less than 3 different sellers, so what you want to do is filter this to new. And now here you can see there is 1, 2. There's only 2 sellers. That's confirmed it's private label. If a listing, let's go to bestsellers. If a listing like this one, let's go to this one, has more than 3 different sellers, like this one has 20 sellers, but we want to filter this to new condition. There you go. There are 19 sellers selling this product. This is a wholesale product. I'm sure these sellers are selling this product because they can find this product from a wholesaler, buy it for a cheaper price, and they're selling this product. So that's how you confirm whether a product is private label or not. So you've now found your product as well as analyzed your product. So it's now time to start sourcing the supplier for the product. Most people think finding a product is the hard part, but it's not. Finding a profitable supplier is the hardest part in your wholesale business. And that's why now I'll focus on showing you exactly what you need to have in order to successfully open an account, trade account with a supplier and get the cheapest possible price. The reason why most people struggle or fail to open a trade account with a wholesaler is because they approach a wholesaler as an individual. What they don't understand is a wholesaler or their business model itself is B2B, meaning they only work with business to business. So you have to approach a wholesaler as a business yourself. If you approach them as an individual, then they have no interest in working with you because they want customers who can buy in larger quantity and not just few hundred units like you would as an individual. That's the reason why you get rejected. So the first thing you need to do to establish yourself as a business is register a limited company, and that could be called as Jatz Commerce or Jatz Online Distributors or whatever you want to call it. But just having a limited company will help you look professional when you approach suppliers. The second thing you want to create is a website. It can be a simple website just showcasing what you are and what you guys do, because again, some suppliers will look at your website to see if you're even legit, if you even have a website, because if you don't, then most likely you're a small fish and they don't want to work with you. And the third thing you want to have is a professional email address. What I mean by professional email address is that if your email address that you're contacting suppliers is jatz@gmail.com, then they will see you as someone who does not know anything about business because you haven't even bought yourself a domain. So if your business is called Jatz Commerce, then have an email which is jatz@jatzcommerce.com. If you have no idea how to set all of this up, then you can watch a video on YouTube on how to create a website using Wix, which is a no-code website. Now, some of these platforms will also give you a free email account, so you can go ahead and create your email as well. I'm thinking of creating something which can help you create your website and your entire kind of business on this one platform, but I don't know if it's worth putting my time in. So if you do want me to help you create your website and manage it for you, then I'll leave a Google form in. If there are more than 50 people who will fill it in, then I'll think about it. But again, you can go watch YouTube videos on how to create a website and stuff like that, and you can get this sorted out. Or you can go on Fiverr.com, pay someone there, and they will set it up for you. Now that you have got your professional image set up, how do you actually approach suppliers? What do you say to them when you reach out? So this is how you go about first finding your supplier for the product, and secondly, what you say when you reach out to them. So let's go back and look at this product right here. So this one right here is a Health Point spectacle and lens wipes. So the first thing you're going to do is simply look for the brand name. So you can see the brand name is Health Point. Another way you can see is right here, Health Point. Another way you can see is here, Health Point. Sometimes it might not be visible here or here, so make sure you look here. So Health Point is the brand name. So you're gonna just go on Google and type in Health Point as the brand name. The first thing I always recommend you do before reaching out to a wholesaler who sells these products, the first thing is go to the brand directly. If you can open an account with the brand directly, then you will get the lowest possible price for the product and not the price from a supplier where they have increased it slightly so they can make a profit for them. So we're gonna go on Health Point, then we're gonna go to their homepage, and we're gonna simply scroll down and click on Contact Us. In this case, they already have something called Become a Stockist. So you can click on that and you can see they have a form right here. So register your interest. You need to fill in this, and then business type, you're going to select either a retailer or a wholesaler, one of the things. And in the information right here, you're simply going to write as, hi, my name is Jatz and I'm calling from Jatz Commerce. We're an online retailer looking to add your products into our existing product lines along with X, Y, and Z brand. We'll be really keen to open a trade account with you. Can you please let me know what information you would require to proceed further? Thanks. That's it. That's all you need to write, because you have included most important points into that, which is that you want to open a trade account. Now, the reason why I said that you want to include brand X, Y, and Z is because you will look more professional. And I would recommend, if you're going for a brand that is in the health, like let's say lens wipe, then look for brands that are related to that. And you must be wondering, but Jatz, what if I don't have any brands like that? Well, if you can open an account with one wholesaler who has 10 brands that they work with, then technically you do have access to those brands as well. So you can name those brands in your email. And there are countless wholesalers like MX Wholesale, Pound Wholesale that you can easily get an account open with without even worrying about having to approach them, because some of them you can register online on their website and then call them, be like, I've just registered, can you please open an account? And your account will be opened. Now you might be also wondering, Jatz, what would I do if I got rejected from the brand? Well, then you don't have to go look for a wholesaler, because you can ask the wholesaler, the brand directly, be like, hey, okay, that's absolutely fine. Could you please let us know your authorized distributors that we can get in touch with? Now they're going to give you a list of 5-10 different wholesalers that they directly work with. So you can approach these wholesalers and you can use the same exact process, same exact scripts that I said, and try and get an account open with them. Now, once again, I'm going to plug in myself, but in the actual program, which has helped Camellia hit 100K in 12 months, Umar 100K in 12 months, Wakar 100K in 12 months, Simon 100K in 12 months, Dev 100K in 12 months, and countless other people. And also, just to be open, it's not a free program, so don't book the call in if you don't want to invest into building a 6-figure FBA business. So if you can't invest something where you can get 100x return on your investment, then this is not something for you. So that's just to be clear. But anyway, let's continue. If the supplier does say no to also give you the wholesalers list, which is really rare, then you can simply again go on Google, type in Health Point Wholesalers UK, and there you have it. Voila, you have a lot of suppliers like Ray-Ban, which is a really good supplier. I use them personally, or My Wholesale Warehouse, or Medical Dressing Ltd, or MX Wholesale, or Sydney Wholesale. These are all the wholesalers that sell products from this exact brand. And a tip I will give you is that if you can't sometimes find any suppliers here, there are 10 different pages on Google for this exact thing that we've written. So go through those pages as well, as sometimes the best suppliers don't know how to do SEO, so they might not rank up on the first page, and so you want to go to third page, fourth page, and you might find someone on those pages as well. Let's now talk about negotiation. You know how to approach a supplier, you manage to open a trade account with them, but you're not getting the cheapest possible price, because at the end of the day, wholesale or becoming profitable in wholesale is all about getting the lowest possible cost or buy price for the product, so you can increase your profit as much as you can. And so in my opinion, the easiest way to reduce your buy price is ask for a discount. Every wholesaler will always give you a discount. When you call them and you're making your first order, just say, okay, that's fine. Is there any discount bands that I need to meet? Because sometimes they might have bands like band A, band B, band C. And so you might only be able to achieve band A discount if you order £500 worth of products. You might only be able to achieve band B discount, which might be 10% if you order over £1,000. So ask them if they have a discount band. Secondly, just ask them, hey, this is our first order, we're ordering this much, is there any discount that you can add on? And they will always add on a discount, which could be 3%, 5%, because they also want to make money. And if they say, no, we don't give any discounts, just say, how about I order 1,000 units? And they'll be like, oh yeah, we do, we can look into that. And when they say that, then you can start negotiation, because then you'll be like, okay, cool, so you do discounts. So then you'll be like, okay, how about I order 500 units before start? Can I still have that discount? Because we're looking to order consistently more units every single time. But because this is our first order, we also want to check the quality and make sure how our process of working with you is. And they will be more than happy to give you the discount. And if asking for a discount doesn't work, then the second way to negotiate is simply order in higher quantity. If you order 100 units and if you order 1,000 units, you can actually get your cost per unit a lot more cheaper with 1,000 units than you can with 100 units. And that's just because that's how wholesale itself works. The more you order, the cheaper your cost per unit is. All right, firstly, congrats on knowing how to find, analyze, and source a product, because once you know these three things, next thing is to list your product on your Amazon account. And this is slightly different to how you actually list a private label product, so watch this lesson carefully. So your Amazon account has just been approved and now you're ready to list your first product and start making sales. There are two types of products you can list on Amazon. The first one is an existing / a wholesale product, which is usually a product listing of a known brand, like for example Red Bull. And the second type of product you can list is a private label product. This is when you want to create your own listing for a product which is unbranded and you are branding it under your own name. Now each of these products have a complete different listing process, and so I'm going to go through it step by step and break it down as simple as possible. So let's get started. So once you have signed into your Amazon seller account, click on the three dots here, then go on catalog and click on add products. This is the only page in your entire seller account which will actually allow you to list a product. Now this is where you'll be able to list a product. Now you can obviously search the product using just the product title, you can search by a product image, you can search by product ID, the web URL, or a spreadsheet or a blank form. Now I'm going to keep this video straight to the point and I'm not going to go through things that you don't need to worry about. Now once you're here, you will simply need to search the product that you want to list. Now to add a wholesale product, all you have to do is simply first find the product on Amazon. Let's say the product I want to list is this Dow product that I want to list onto my Amazon account. All I have to do is go on the listing, and then I will scroll down right at the bottom under product information and additional information. Actually, not additional information. Sometimes it's under additional information. This time it's not. Under technical information, there is something called ASIN. This ASIN is a unique ID that is given to every single product on Amazon. So every product on Amazon has a unique ASIN. So you can just copy this, go back to your seller account, and then you will simply paste this. And then you're going to search. And as you can see, this product has come right here. Then you're going to click on that and then select the condition that you want to sell in. We are always going to select new condition, and then it will load up. If you're just starting to sell on Amazon, this is exactly what you will see. Apply to sell. The reason why is because new Amazon seller accounts are restricted for certain categories as well as certain brands. But you don't need to worry, because I'll show you exactly how you can get ungated or approved by Amazon to be able to sell these products. So all you have to do is first click on apply to sell. And right here, it will tell you what you will need approval to be able to sell this product. Now this application is for me to get ungated or approved to be able to sell Dow branded products. So in order for you to get approved to sell a Dow branded item, you will simply need to buy minimum of 10 units of this exact product from a wholesale supplier. So not a retailer like Tesco or Target or Asda or Walmart, not those. You need to go to a wholesale supplier, and you can find them by just Googling Dow Wholesale UK, Dow Wholesale US, and then you simply need to make sure it's within 180 days, and then you can just tick all of these things and upload that invoice right here. If the invoice has come in the actual package, you can take a photo of it and upload it. Then you will need to simply put in your email, and then you can agree and submit. If here you needed to get approved for a category, then you don't have to buy the exact same Dow product. You can just about buy any product from that category, and then you can just get an invoice for that and then submit that. However, I just recommend, to keep your life easier, if you're trying to get approved for Dow, and let's say Dow is restricted in a category as well, then you can just buy Dow, and Dow itself, that product will get you ungated in both the category and for the brand. So that's how you get approved. And once you've submitted it, within 72 hours, usually it's a lot more faster, you should get approved to sell that product. Now, because I'm not submitting the application right now and I want to show the entire process of listing a wholesale product, I'm just going to use a product that I'm already approved for. So I'm just going to do search, and this product I'm already approved to sell. So I'm just going to click on this and then condition as new, and then it will show as sell this product. Once I click on that, this is what will show up. So as you can see, it's asking me for the quantity, the price, as well as the offering type. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is actually select my fulfillment channel. So I won't be shipping these products myself. I'll be using Amazon FBA. If you're using Amazon FBA, meaning every time you get an order, you're the one who wants to pick, pack, and ship it, then you can choose I will ship it myself. But if you're going to be using Amazon, then you can just do Amazon will dispatch and provide customer service. Then I will simply go to offering, always choose as new, and then the price. How much are you going to sell it for? Now, I always recommend with a wholesale listing, the only way you will get sales is if you're either matching the price as the lowest seller, lowest prime seller, because if you're doing FBA, it's usually lowest prime seller. So in this case, it's £6.97. So you're just going to do £6.97. And then you can simply scroll down and you can turn off the other marketplaces that you don't want to sell in. Just keep the marketplace that you want to sell in on. And then you can do save and finish. Now on this page, sometimes it will actually give you an option to either choose manufacturer's barcode or Amazon's barcode. What that means is that when you are sending this product off to Amazon, are you using this? Or are you going to print off Amazon's barcode and then you're going to stick it on top of that? Now, I always recommend you use Amazon's barcode. The reason being is because if you send this product and I send this product with the manufacturer's barcode, and when our products arrived at the Amazon fulfillment center and they go mixed up, they won't be able to know who the product belongs to. So if my product, which I sent, was damaged and it was mixed up and then they put it under your inventory, then you're losing money. Whereas if you put Amazon's barcode on this and they scan it, they can know that this product belongs to you. So that's the reason why you always choose Amazon's barcode. Then you can simply click on list as FBA. And that is done. That's how you list a wholesale product. A lot of people find shipping their product to Amazon a lot confusing. However, in the next lesson, when I show you how to ship a product off to Amazon, I've made it really easy and step by step, so you know exactly how you're going to go ahead and ship the product to Amazon. So in order to do that, all you have to do, you can simply click on these three dots and then click on send or replenish inventory. Once you click that, it will open up an entire shipping plan that you need to create. So the first thing you'll be asked when you do send it for the first time is going to be your ship from address. You can just add it from where it's going to be shipped from. Then you're going to select the prep or labeling details, or prep and labeling details. Right here, you're going to just do no prep needed. If it's a product made of glass, it will ask you to prep it, bubble wrap. Then you can just do save. Who's going to label the units? You can actually get Amazon to put the Amazon's barcode on your products, but in that case, they will charge you 38p per unit, and I don't recommend that. You're just going to do buy seller, which is you are the one who will label it. Then you're going to click on save. Then you're going to select how many units you're sending it. Let's say I'm just sending 10 units. If the product has expiry date, like if it's a product like this, it will have it. So you can just add, let's say we're going to add this and then ready to pack. And now when we click ready to pack, as you can see, print all SKU labels. And this is basically the Amazon barcode that will get stuck on the actual product. So hear me out. Listen to this carefully. There are standard formats and there are thermal printing formats. If you have a thermal printer, you can use that. If you have a standard printer, which is a normal printer, you can use that. All you have to do is go on Amazon and buy this. Let me show you what. You can buy a 44 label sheet. What this is basically stickers. You can put this A4 sheet in your printer and then all the labels will get printed here, and then you can just peel it off and stick it on the actual product. Once that's done, click on pack individual units. And if you're selling in a pack of 2, by the way, you will need to put the products inside a poly bag, like 2 of them, and then wrap the poly bag, close the poly bag, and then label the poly bag. Not individual products, but label the poly bag. All right, so that's another thing. Now you're actually doing your information about the box that you will be putting all the products inside and shipping off to Amazon. So here it says packing information, how many boxes will you be sending? You will just say everything will fit in 1 box. Then you need to give the dimension of the box, which is the length, height, and width. Let's say in this case it's 30, 35, and 70. By the way, if I put 70, it's not going to accept it because the maximum size of the box from any angle cannot be longer than 63.5 centimeters. And I'll show you that in a bit as well. So I'm going to put that 70, and the box cannot weigh more than 23 kg if I'm wrong. So I always do, let's say 21 kg at max. we can't say this is 21 kg, let's just do 10 kg. When I do that, it will just say that your box cannot be, so 2 dimensions have to be more than 70 to get this error. As you can see, the box cannot exceed 63.5 by 63.5 centimeters. So now I'll just put something less, just for this example. Confirm packaging information, confirm and continue. In the next step, it's just asking the shipping date. So we're gonna say, let's say we wanna ship it on Monday. And then in shipping mode, make sure you select small parcel delivery. If you're gonna ship off a pallet, then you can select this. But in this case, we're just going to do small parcel delivery. Then for shipping carrier, we're going to choose UPS because UPS is actually partnered with Amazon, and now they're also partnered with DPD, and UPS is still going to be cheaper. So I still recommend UPS rather than DPD. Then when you scroll down, it will just show you the actual shipment. You can actually see where this product is going, in which one of Amazon's warehouse or fulfillment center. Is going to BHX4, which is based in Coventry, for me at least. You can see where this actual one is going. Now, some people say, can I just go and drop it off to the actual warehouse, Amazon warehouse? No, you can't do that, so don't do that. And then next, you simply agree this and accept charges and shipping, confirm shipping. Now, the moment you agree this will get charged from you. You have up to 24 hours to cancel it and they will not charge you. So basically, if you're doing it as a dummy shipping just to kind of test out, then make sure you cancel this after you accept the charges, which I'll show you in a bit. So I've accepted the charges right now. And then it's gonna go to step 3, which is I'm gonna have to print the box labels, which will go on top of the actual box that I'm shipping off to Amazon. And while it's loading, I'll also show you 2 label A4 sheet. This is what you can also buy, where you're going to print off the box label and the UPS label, which you will just see in a bit. So as you can see now here, I'm going to select this template, 99.1 by 139 millimeters, and just click on print. And as you can see, this is how it will come out, which again, when you print in the A4 sheet, you can just take it off. This is the UPS label and this is the Amazon label right here. Now, you're still not done. Most people stop at this stage thinking, yep, I received my tracking details, so now Amazon will take this product. No, it doesn't work like that. You're going to click on view tracking details, and this is the tracking ID that you're going to take, and you're going to schedule UPS to come collect it from your home or your warehouse or your office. So copy this, then you're going to go on UPS schedule pickup. All you're going to do is put in, do you have a prepaid UPS shipping label? Yes, you're gonna just put in the actual tracking details that you've just received. If you have multiple, you need to put a comma before you put the next one. In this case, we only have one. Then you're gonna just fill in all your details right here. Then you're gonna make sure you select the number of packages you're sending. If your package is basically the amount of boxes you're sending, if you're sending 10 boxes, select 10, and then the total weight of the 10 boxes. In your case, if each box is 10 kg, total weight is gonna be 100. Then if it weighs more than 32 kg, which it does, 100, then yes. And then you're gonna select the collection date. You have to give UPS a 4-hour slot. So you can only choose from 11 to 4 o'clock or 12 to 5 o'clock. You cannot kind of shrink it to 1 hour at all. You can go drop off as well. So you can actually go and drop this off to the nearest collection place if you want to do that as well. But I recommend it's easier for them to just come and collect it. And then you can just select, you put in your address and then go next. And on the next page, there is a button called confirm. You review all the information, click confirm, and everything is done from that moment onwards. Now, once UPS collects it, they take it off. Amazon will handle everything from there. Every time you get an order, Amazon will pick, pack, and ship it to your customers, and you don't have to do anything yourself. Now, when creating a shipping plan, you probably heard me talk about weighing the products or weighing the box and all these things. Hence why in the next lesson, I'll show you all the tools and equipments that you need in order to actually get everything done properly so you can ship the product to Amazon as well. Tools and equipments are things that you will need in order for you to prep your products to ship it to Amazon. And there are some tools that you will need right away and some tools you will need in the future. Now, I'll quickly explain each of these tools so you know exactly why you'll be purchasing it. So first is box plus tape dispenser. You need a box to put your products in and close it with the tape dispenser so you can ship the box to Amazon. Then number 2 is boxes. You need to have boxes in order for you to put your products inside the box and ship it off to Amazon. Now, you don't have to buy boxes. You can go to your local supermarket or local corner shop and ask them, hey, do you have any boxes? And because they have products coming in, they will always have boxes. Even if the boxes have brandings on it, you can go ahead and use those boxes. Number 3 is a thermal printer. Now, thermal printers are expensive. but in the long run, you'll save so much money with the thermal printer because you will never have to buy ink for a thermal printer. So that's why I highly recommend a thermal printer. Then there are thermal product labels. So these are the labels that will go on the products, which you're going to stick on the products. You can actually get these for free if you create an account with UPS. I think it's UPS Business. If you create an account, you can request for free thermal labels and stuff, so you can get them for free as well. Next is thermal box labels. These are basically labels again, but bigger size labels, because these labels will have UPS labels, which they're going to scan when the UPS driver comes in. Amazon fulfillment center labels, which is the labels that Amazon's employees will scan as soon as they receive your box. So these labels are for that. Then is a weighing scale. You're going to use a weighing scale because when you create a shipping plan, you need to note down or write down the weight of the box. So you will need that. Then a measurement tape. Again, when you create a shipping plan, you will need to add the size or the dimensions of the boxes. So you need a measurement tape. And then you will need scissors. Again, scissors are really, you don't have to buy it, but I really recommend you have one because it will help you just cut things a lot quicker rather than using a knife or something like that. Now, these are the tools you need right now. You can find the exact same in a different country, US, Canada, or wherever you are, and you can go ahead and buy them. Now, the tools that you may need later is number one, bubble wrap. If you're sending products that are fragile, then you will need to bubble wrap it. Or if it's a product that needs certain type of prep, such as bubble wrap, you need it. Then there is polybags. For example, you can see if you're selling a pack of 4, you need to put in a polybag, seal the polybag off. And you need to make sure the polybags have a warning of suffocation, which most polybags that you're going to buy will have it. But if it doesn't, then don't buy it, because Amazon's policy is that the polybags need to have a warning label, which is a warning suffocation label. If it doesn't come with it, you can print out a warning suffocation label and stick on top of the polybag. But to make life easier, I would just say get one with the warning labels. Well, the warning printed on it. Next is pallet foil. If you're sending a pallet off to Amazon, once you've stacked your boxes on top of the pallets, in order for them to not fall apart, you need a pallet foil to just wrap it around the pallet so nothing falls apart. Next is a do not separate label. These are labels that you simply need to stick on some bundles like this, where you need to stick it on it, and it just means that when it receives or Amazon receives it, they're not going to separate this bundle which we have created in like a polybag. Not all bundles require it, but some bundles will require it. And Amazon will tell you when creating a shipping plan, or when it tells you product prep details, it will tell you if you need to stick it. Next is 15 kg heavy warning labels. You will need to stick these labels on a box if it weighs more than 15 kg on all 4 sides of the box. Now, I personally don't buy do not separate labels and a 15 kg heavy warning label. All I do is print them off directly on my box labels or the product labels, the thermal labels, and I just peel off from there and I stick it. It just saves me money and I don't have to buy them individually, basically. And the last 2 things are really optional, but it's a game changer and helped me so much, which is a label sticker. I mean, it's like a gun that you can just put the label roll on it, the thermal label, product labels, and you can just kind of press the gun and one label comes out at a time, and then you can just go ahead and stick it on top of each product. So as you can see, I can just put the gun on it and then just stick this label and I can move on to it. Previously, I used to do individually. I would peel off and stick on it, and it used to take so long. So now it's just so quick and I can do it much more easily. And the last one is a roll rewinder. So once I printed the product labels from the thermal printer, it's a mess. So I simply use the roll rewinder to re-roll the entire kind of all the labels together in a roll, and then I can put that into my label sticker, and so then I can just use it as a roll, because you need to insert it as a roll, so I can just use it to stick the labels. So these are kind of interlinked, and that's why I say it's optional, but it's gonna save you a lot of time when it comes to prepping the product. In the next lesson, I'm gonna talk about inventory management, and some of you might find this boring, but this is something which will be really helpful for you once you start selling on Amazon, so do not skip this. This also relates to big shopping events like Prime Day coming up, because on these type of events, your inventory is actually going to get sold more compared to other days, because there's more people shopping on Amazon, which means there's a higher chance of you getting more sales. And so at the start of my journey, I usually ended up running out of stock majority of the times, because I had not forecasted or I had not pre-ordered enough stock thinking about what's coming ahead, and I did not prep myself. I've done this mistake even in Q4, because in Q4, which is the October, November, December, the last 3 months of the year, sales usually go up on Amazon. And in my first and second one, I did not anticipate the amount of sales I would be getting. So I had not prepped enough, and so I ran out of stock. And when you run out of stock, you lose a lot of sales. And those sales is basically the amount of money that you could have made, but because you did not manage your inventory properly, because you did not make a prediction on how much it could potentially sell, because you did not do your analysis or check previous years data on how many times it sold and made your order based on that, you will lose out on sales. So I highly recommend you use either an inventory management software or Excel sheets to actually know how much stock you have here in your warehouse if you're holding anything, or at your home, and how much stock you have at Amazon. And now Amazon itself, inside Amazon Seller Central, it allows you to manage your inventory and see how many days worth of products you have and how much products you should be ordering in order for you to have enough stock for the coming few days. Now, most people get scared when they see a listing in their inventory. They think something's going to happen. They can't delete the listing. They can't go ahead and change the price on the listing or anything like that. Look, you don't have to worry about anything, because as long as it says out of stock, even if you change your price to £2, £3, £10, £100, it doesn't matter, because you will not be shown on the buy box until you actually send stock for your listing to Amazon. And so now I'll show you exactly how to go ahead and send stock in your listing. But just before I do that, if you also want to delete your listing, or if you want to turn off your listing once your stock is at Amazon, you can simply go on these toggles, and then as you can see where it says close listing, you can close the listing, so you will automatically come off the buy box if you don't want to sell your products. And if you want to delete your listing, you can delete it from here as well. If you want to change the listing to an FBA listing, you can do that from here as well. Amazon has not one, not two, not three, but over a dozen fees, and knowing all of them can be hard and complicated. Hence why I'm going to break down all the fees that you need to know in the next lesson. In this lesson, I will explain to you the 3 key Amazon FBA fees. The first one is FBA fees. This is basically fulfillment fees, which Amazon charges because they pick, pack and ship the products for you. So they charge it because they have employees who are in their warehouse picking your products, and they're using their boxes to put your products in, and then they're shipping that product to the customer. Now this FBA fees is not a static fee, it is a range, and the range will depend on the weight of the product, the size of the product, and the type of the product as well. Next one is referral fees. Now this is a fee that Amazon charges on every single product you sell via Amazon. Basically it's a commission that Amazon's taking because you're using their platform and they already have customers coming on the platform, so they're gonna charge you a referral fee, a commission. Now for most products you will be selling, the referral fee is 15%. However, there is going to be some products where it could be as low as 8%, or it could be as high as 45%. But I'll show you where you can see your exact amount of fees and everything in later lessons. So don't worry, don't try and think, oh my God, how do I figure out all these fees and stuff like that. The next fee is a storage fee. If your products are in Amazon's warehouse for more than 30 days, then Amazon will charge you a storage fee every 30 days. Now there are short-term storage fees and there are long-term storage fees. Short-term storage fees is if your inventory is with Amazon for, let's say, around 300 days, then anything below 300 days, every month, they will charge you a storage fee, which is calculated based on the cubic foot of how much space your products are taking in their warehouse. And if it's there for more than 300 days, which in our case won't be an issue because we will not be selling products that are going to be with Amazon for 300 days. But anyway, after 300 days, the same fee which is being charged every 30 days is going to be increased, and you're going to be charged long-term storage fees. Again, this is going to be per cubic foot as well. So if your stock does get sold out in less than 30 days, then you won't be paying any storage fees, so you don't have to really worry about that. Now, if you're wondering where will you see these fees? Well, once the product is added into your inventory and you go to estimated fees per unit sold, if you click on that, it will actually give you a revenue calculator, and here it will give you exactly the Amazon fees, the fulfillment cost, again, the fulfillment fees, and also a rough estimate of the storage fees. So a lot of people start selling on Amazon and they think they're profitable, but they don't even know how to actually calculate their profit and profit margin. So in the next lesson, I'm going to show you exactly how to go ahead and calculate your profit and loss. But how do you do it? Well, you see, when you work for someone, you get a pay slip, meaning end of every single month, you have worked for this many hours, they tell you this is how much you got paid, this is how much tax is gone, blah, blah, blah. Now in a business, when you're running a business yourself, your business doesn't get a pay slip, right? So you don't exactly know how much money you made or how much money you've lost. So you need to do something called a P&L, a profit and loss statement, which basically is a statement where you add all your cost, all your income, and you figure out how much money you have made that month or how much money you have lost that month. You can go ahead and create a P&L, profit and loss statement manually by simply going into your Amazon account and downloading your transaction reports and then looking at your cost of goods and then creating a statement. Or you can use a software, which is what I always recommend to use, to simply go ahead and do that automatically for you. The reason why I recommend the software is because on Amazon, there are so many different type of fees and so many different types of transactions that sometimes you might not be able to consider all of them if you're doing it manually. Whereas if you're using a software, the software is connected to your Amazon account. So it gets data from your Amazon account and it pulls into the software. And then in the software, you can add things like cost of goods and stuff, and it will automatically calculate your profit and loss. And in a bit, I'll also show you the software I use and give you a rundown of that. The second reason why most Amazon sellers fail is because they don't know how to manage inventory, meaning sometimes you're gonna over order inventory and send it to Amazon, and then you have to pay storage fees because your stock isn't being sold as fast as you expected it to be. And the other side of inventory management is that you under order and then you run out of stock and you're losing on sales for weeks, and you could have made a lot more profit, but now you can't because you didn't know how much inventory to order for your Amazon business. Even for inventory management, you can do it manually by using Amazon's inventory management page, where you're able to see exactly how much Amazon recommends you should order for this product and stuff like that. But the user interface of that isn't very clear or easy to use. So I highly recommend you have a software, because a software will not only give you the data directly from your Amazon account, but it puts it in a way where it's easier to see, and sometimes it adds certain bits of data which is hidden on your Amazon account, but you're able to see it clearly here, and you're able to make better decisions on how much inventory to order, how much inventory you've got left at Amazon, and all these things. Now, the great thing about the software that I use is that it does the profit calculation and inventory management in one tool. And so I'm going to jump on my computer now and show you guys exactly what software this is and how you can use it. The software is called Sellerboard, who is also kindly sponsored today's video, and you can also get a 2-month free trial for Sellerboard using the link in the description. Now, I've been using Sellerboard for over a year now, and regardless whether they sponsored this video or not, I still would recommend this software any day, every day, because I've tried multiple softwares out there, and trust me, of all of them I've tried, this is definitely the best one by far, because not only the user face is a lot more easier, but it has all the main things you need as an Amazon seller in one software. So you don't have to subscribe to different softwares for different reasons. And the monthly plan, as you can see, it starts from $19. This is how affordable it is. Now, if you go and compare this to any other softwares out there, you will see how affordable this is. But anyway, let's jump into Sellerboard, and now let me show you how exactly it works. As soon as you log into your Sellerboard account, this is how it will look. Now, this is a demo account because my account will show my products that I sell. Hence, this is a demo account I'm showing. But this is how the dashboard looks. And as you can see how clean and nice it is, you can literally go to your Sellerboard account and you can see today you have made this much sales. You can also see your profit. Now, the thing about Amazon's app, the Amazon actual app, if you log into that, you can see the sales at the top, but it doesn't tell you how much profit you have made. So Sellerboard also has a mobile app, which I usually use most of the time throughout the day, because it allows me to see how much profit I have made in that day and not the sales, because you could make £2,000-3,000 sales, but if your profit is what, £1, it's not a good day, isn't it? So that's the reason why being able to see your profit in real time is the best thing. Now, you can also change these tiles here in terms of the week's sales and then the month sales. So you can literally go to this one, the week sale, and then filter, and you'll be able to see, as you can see, this week, last week, 2 weeks, and 3 weeks. I tend to always stay on the first one because it allows me to just have all the things that I want to see. And then when you scroll down, you can see all the products that you have sold. You can also see how many units of that product you have sold, if there was any refunds, how much sales it has made. If you're spending money in ads, you can see how much money has been spent on ads for this. Then you can see your margins, your ROI, and your net profit. As a seller, this is data that would be hard for you to actually go to your Amazon account and manually keep track of, whereas here you can see all of these things in one. Now, this is great. The dashboard is already amazing, but then there is another view on the dashboard, which is the chart view, which I tend to not use a lot. In here, you can kind of see all the similar information, which you can see on tiles, but in different format. I tend to go to this view, which is the profit and loss. So this is what I was talking about when calculating your profit, creating a profit and loss. Now, you can do it manually or in Sellerboard, as long as you've added your cost of goods and as long as you have added your expenses, which I'll show you in a bit, your profit and loss gets calculated automatically. So as you can see, in February, the sales were 24,000, the units sold were 2,000. Now, after refunds and after promo fees, after advertisement costs, all the Amazon fees, and all of it after estimated payout and the cost of goods, because you've added it to your Amazon, your Sellerboard account, it will show you exactly how much ROI you made, how much margin you made, and what was your net profit. This number will show you whether you're making a profit in your business or you're making a loss in your business. And this is a number you want to calculate every single month because it tells you how your business is performing. And then when you click on the month and you scroll down, you can also see how many units you have sold for each of the products that's actually totaled in 2,024 units. So this feature itself is worth to me for more than how much I pay for the plan itself. But let me show you more great features about Seller Board. So on the trends dashboard, you can actually see how much the product is selling on yearly basis. So if you've been selling the product for last 12 months, you know that in Q4 the product might be, or it sold more than how much it sells in Q3 or Q2. So here you can actually see how many units this product sells or how much sales it does in that specific month. So then when it comes to managing inventory / ordering your inventory for that specific month, you can do a better estimate so you don't either run out of stock or you over order. Now, when it comes to products, you can go to profit and then you can go to products. In products, you'll be able to see all the products that you sell. Now, all these products will be automatically added to your Seller Board account because when you sign in or sign up to Seller Board, you have to connect your Amazon account and all of this information will be here. Then you will simply go ahead and add your cost of goods, meaning how much you're buying this product for. And so then it will automatically calculate your profit. Then there is the expenses. Now, the great thing I love about the expenses tab is that I have recurring expenses like the warehouse rent or people I pay or subscriptions that I use for my Amazon business. And I can add a recurring payment or expense in here that automatically gets added to my profit and loss. So I don't have to worry about manually adding it every single month. And then if I have a one-time expense, let's say I bought something for the office, I bought a new computer and that has to go in my P&L. Then I simply go ahead and add a one-time expense and I can just simply categorize it as well if I want to. Now, the next thing is LTV and cash flow, which I tend to don't use because I don't do private label much. And then there is reports. So in reports, you can actually download reports about your sales, your orders, and repeated customers. So it's really great if you just want to see the reports in an Excel view, or if you want to send the report to someone like, let's say, your accountant or someone. Then there is PPC. So again, if you do private label, you can go to the PPC tab and you can literally see how much ad spend you have done, how much profit are you making, and all the data. And you can even optimize and this is great when it comes to optimizing your ads. Now, having PPC is great, but now let's talk about inventory management. So as you can see, there is an inventory tab where if you go to the planner section, here it literally tells you how much inventory you have at Amazon, how many days worth of stock you have left, and how many days until you should order your product, this order again, and also recommends how much you should order. On top of that, you can also see your prep center stock, meaning if you create a purchase order and you add how many units you're buying from which supplier, you can add all your suppliers in here as well to track all your suppliers and stuff like that. If you, let's say, added 6,000 units of that product, it will automatically go in your inventory for that product because in your PO, you can attach the product you have bought as well. And then it will show you how many units you have got at your prep center. So then it also takes this into consideration for the days until next order as well. And on top of that, you can also see your prep stock, meaning the stock you holding yourself, how much the value is, how much potential sales you will get, and the profit. But as you can see, it's really easy to read, and my team usually checks this the most because we want to make sure we never go below 14 days in stock. And whenever you ship a product to Amazon and you create a shipping plan, the shipping plan will automatically be synced in your Seller Board account, and you'll be able to see the progress of units being received at Amazon. And if for some reason there's only 89% received, because if 100% hasn't been received, meaning they've either lost or damaged some of your units. If they have done that, then the great thing about Seller Board is that you can also go to the money back tab and you'll be able to go to lost and damaged. And here it gives you a report which you can submit to Amazon to actually get a refund on any units which they have either lost or damaged or missed. But another cool thing I also like about Seller Board is the autoresponder. Here you can create a campaign for every single product which will go to your customers. So if a customer buys a product, then after 3 or 4 days, Seller Board will automatically send an email to them asking for a product review as well as a seller feedback. So you know how important, even as a private label seller and as a wholesale seller, for private label, you want your products to get reviews, because the more reviews you can get, the more sales and higher it ranks as well, because it builds credibility for your listing and people trust it more. Plus, as an Amazon FBA wholesaler, you want to get seller feedback. So with this campaign, I have it set up and it automatically does it for all the orders I get. So I don't have to do it manually, because there are other softwares that allow you to do this, but you have to manually go through all the orders and send those emails, whereas Seller Board does it all for you automatically. So that's everything I use in Seller Board, and you can see how powerful this software can be for your Amazon business. All right, so if there is one thing that I need you to understand if you want to be a successful Amazon FBA wholesaler, then that is to understand how the Buybox works, because this will determine whether you will make money as an Amazon FBA wholesaler or not. And in the next lesson, I'm going to show you exactly what the Buybox is, as well as my hacks on how to win the Buybox more. We're going to start off by opening the Buybox straight away. and we can see there are multiple sellers. Now, the first thing you need to understand is what I've briefly discussed in the first Buybox kind of overview, is that there are two main type of sellers. There's FBM sellers, there's FBA sellers. Yes, there is Amazon, Amazon EU, Amazon Warehouse, Amazon US, but the type of sellers who sell on Amazon are FBM sellers or FBA sellers. The way you filter the Buybox is by simply first going on the filter and click on Prime and New to see mainly FBA sellers. Now, sometimes even if you filter on Prime, you may see an FBM seller, as you can see, dispatch from Diva Store Limited. You may still see FBM sellers because they use a way of shipping products to their customers, which is almost Prime, which is next day delivery. Hence, they come here. But we still don't worry about them because our main competitor are people where it says dispatch from Amazon and sold by Amazon as well. Now, how does the Buybox actually work and how do you win the Buybox? The number one thing for winning the Buybox is the price. The lowest price usually takes the Buybox most of the times. However, you might say, but Jatz, FBM sellers have the lowest price, so wouldn't they win the Buybox most of the times? Because if I clear the filters and I go look back, so right now as well, like FBM sellers are the lowest, and all the FBA sellers are not as low as FBM sellers. So who would be winning the Buybox? Usually FBA sellers win the Buybox more over FBM. Now, Amazon has recently released a policy where they will do fair pricing, where FBM sellers also get to win the Buybox. But Amazon being Amazon, because Amazon mainly makes money when an FBA seller makes a sale, because we're paying FBA fees plus referral fees, even FBM sellers pay the referral fees. But usually the whole business runs more when Amazon FBA sellers sell. So Amazon FBA sellers will always win the Buybox more than an FBM seller. So we know that price is the first thing to win the Buybox. What's the second and third factor? And there are technically four main factors, right? The second factor is actually the seller rating. If your seller rating are really high, but then they are not as good, then you, like as you can see, 77% positive over the last 12 months, whereas this seller rating is 83% positive over the last 12 months, and they have quite a bit of seller rating as well. And the one below that is 92% positive over the last 12 months and 36,000. So next is seller rating. That's also a thing which impacts your Buybox win. So sometimes you might be in a Buybox where you're a seller with only one seller rating. There are sellers with hundreds or thousands of seller ratings, right? Then they might have a little edge over you. However, that being said, even if you just have one seller rating, you can start winning the Buybox. And you might be wondering, just how will I get my first seller rating? What I personally recommend is you ask a friend of yours who has never been to your house, by the way, and has never used the same Wi-Fi, because Amazon can track that somehow. You want to ask that person to buy the product from you. So you can ask them to go to the product you're selling, go to the Buybox, buy it from you, and after 3 or 4 days, leave a seller rating. So they can go to the orders, and then in the orders, they can leave a seller rating. And this way you will have one seller rating. Just having one seller rating will increase your chances of winning the Buybox by a lot. So that's the first thing you want to do. So seller rating is the second thing. The third thing is the Prime delivery, obviously. Like even if you do FBA, sometimes your delivery times might not be next day delivery. So if you have next day delivery, it's going to increase your chances of winning the Buybox more. For example, this person's delivery time is Sunday, 10th March. And if I go down, let's keep going down and see if there is an FBA seller with a different, there you go. This FBA seller is 11th of March and it's not tomorrow. Oh, sorry, it's not the 10th, it's 11th. So that's another factor when it comes to winning the Buybox as well, is the delivery time. Now, how is the delivery time? How do you get it the next day? So mainly the delivery time would be next day if you have sent in enough stock to Amazon. So when you send in, so stock is another factor, by the way. When you send in enough stock, like let's say if you send in 10 units, if you send in 10 units, then Amazon will only have 10 units to distribute it around the whole of UK into their fulfillment centers. So when someone, let's say you live in London and someone from Manchester makes an order of your product, then a person in Manchester, for them, it might show that your product will get to them on the 11th, just because you only send 10 units. So Amazon has only been able to keep 5 units of yours in London and 5 units of yours in, I guess, Milton Keynes or Leicester, somewhere around that area. So then your product, this is just, by the way, a hypothetical example. So your product, someone who's ordered in from Manchester might not get in next day. Whereas if you sent in 1,000 or 100 units, Amazon will have more units to spread around the UK, and that way anywhere around the UK, if someone sees that, if anyone's trying to order that product, you may win the buy box because you will still be next day delivery when you have enough stock. Now, sometimes even by having enough stock, you will have, you might not have next day delivery, and that will affect your buy box. But that just could mean that Amazon is either distributing your products around the fulfillment centers at the moment. So that's the reason why it's not next day. So these are the kind of 4 main factors that goes into winning the buy box. Now, another question most people have is, Jatz, how much more can you price your product to an FBM seller? So usually you can price anywhere from 5 to 10% higher than an FBM seller. So if an FBM seller is selling for £5, you can actually figure out the range at which you can sell for more by just using this exact formula, by the way. All right. So if an FBM seller is selling for £5, you can sell it for 5% more or 10%, right? So firstly, let's figure out what's 5% more of £5. So you're just going to do whatever the amount FBM seller is selling at, multiply that by 105%. And if you just do that, you can sell anywhere from £5.25. So 105% is for you to figure out what's 5% more. So anywhere from £5.25 to now let's check out 10% more. So £5 times by 110% equals £5.50. So you can sell your product anywhere from £5.25 to £5.50 more, like around 50p more than an FBM seller. So that way, now for some cases, you might be even able to sell it for more than that price. So you can test it out by just increasing the price slowly until you stop winning the buy box and you're not getting any sales. So now you know how the buy box works and you know how to price your products compared to FBM seller. Another main question people ask me is, Jatz, what's the maximum number of sellers you look in a buy box? Now, the minimum is 3, because if it's less than 3, it's a private label listing. In terms of maximum, I usually look at 5 to 10 competitive sellers. 5 to 10 maximum competitive sellers. So what is a competitive seller? And that's what we're going to discuss right now. So again, our main competition is FBA sellers. So normally this listing has, if we just clear out filter and keep new, there are 18 plus this seller. There is a total of 19 sellers, but that's not our competition. We're going to change it to prime, and we're even going to count these sellers, and we're going to say that our competition is 13 plus 14. There are 14 sellers in this, but they're not our competitive seller. What is a competitive seller? A competitive seller is every seller who's within 2% price range of the lowest competitive seller. So the lowest seller in this listing is £6.54. Who is within 2% of £6.54? That's the people we're looking for. So let's look at who are within £6.54. So within £6.54, to calculate that, the 2% range, you will do £6.54 multiplied by 102%. So who on this listing is between £6.54 and £6.67? So we're going to literally go down and look. So there's one seller, there's two seller. Are they, different? No, they're actually Diva package, Diva limited. So it could be the same place. But anyway, one seller, two seller. Then there's actually only 2 competitive sellers. So as you can see, all the other sellers are not competitive. So right now, there is mainly 2 competitive sellers. Now, you could say that these guys are FBM sellers and not FBA sellers, although they have prime. And their product will come on March, whereas most FBA sellers will come on 10th. So right now, that's the reason why they're winning the buy box, or they would win the buy box. Whereas the other buy boxes will also have FBA sellers within the same kind of time as well. And so they will win the buy box more as well. But what you can do is £6.67 and £6.54. If you look at those prices, then there's only 2 competitive sellers out of all the 14 sellers. So you're really competing with 2 people and not all the 14. However, as I said, we'll look at an FBA seller. So let's look at an FBA seller. So the lowest FBA seller is 6.99. So to find out the 2%, who's within the 2%, we're going to do 6.99 times by 102%. Just don't worry about what I'm trying to do. Just times it by 102% to figure out. So £7.12. So who's in the range of 6.99 to 7.12? So there's 1, there is 2, there is 3, there is 4. So there is 4. So there is 4 actual sellers who are really competing with each other. FBA sellers who are competing with each other. So as I said, anywhere from 5 to 10 competitive sellers. So on this listing, there are between 5 to 10 competitive sellers. So you know that when you jump on this listing, this is the main people you're competing with. These are the people you can, if you want to, you can include these two as well. So then that becomes 6. Now, these competitive sellers are actually the ones who's winning most of the buy box. So they're the one who's taking most of the sales. So if this listing, let's say for the rough estimation, 300, right? If this listing had 300 sales in the last 30 days, then you need to do 300 divided by 6 competitive seller to find out exactly how many sales each one must have roughly received. So that each person must have roughly received around 50 sales per seller. So that's how we find out how many competitive sellers are in the listing, and that's also the answer to how many maximum sellers should a listing have. And I hope this cleared out all the confusion and everything you had. Now, the last thing about a buy box is something called a suppressed buy box. A suppressed buy box is basically, so let me just Google it to show you. Buy box, suppressed buy box. So if I go on Google, so some buy box, there you go. When you open a listing, it will have something like this. It won't have a add to cart, add to basket or buy now. It will have something like this. It will say see all buying options, and then a customer can buy it. Now, why would a listing have a suppressed buy box? Well, the number one reason is because Amazon thinks the price which you have set for your listing is above the retail value or above the retail amount. And so that's why they believe that that's not the price. And they will actually, if you go on your Amazon Seller Central account, they will tell you that the competitive price which they recommend you add your product at is a specific amount. And so only when you add your price to that, you can go ahead and actually win the buy box. Now, sometimes suppressed buy boxes can also be a great opportunity for you to find products, because if there are certain sellers in a suppressed buy box selling the product at a price where the listing is suppressed, then you can jump on that listing, take the price down to a competitive price, and you can start selling on that. But ideally, or I usually stay away from suppressed buy box listings, because these are listings that sometimes Amazon wants you to keep a price on a price on this listing that will not even be profitable. So that's a suppressed buy box. Another factor could be that the listing is not getting enough sales, or the listing pictures are not good, or the listing description isn't good enough. That's another few reasons, but the main one is price. If the price is too high, then it will have a suppressed buy box. And that's a wrap. You have just gone through everything you need to know to start, launch, scale your Amazon wholesale business. Now, here's the thing. Knowing what to do and doing things are actually two different things. So by watching the content that you just watched does not mean you've started a successful Amazon business. It's going to be by actually taking the action. So if you have to, go through this entire tutorial once again. And if you want my support and you want to work closely with me, then again, I do have my one-on-one coaching program where you can work closely with me to actually help you build a successful, profitable Amazon wholesale business. I'll leave the link in the description for that, but I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who's looking to start Amazon wholesale. I'll see you in the next one. Take care and peace.